What's good,
What's
Brody?
up? What's up? What's up? What's up? Happy
Uh,
Friday, man. I feel like we earned this one. This was a week.
yeah, this was quite the week, bro. Wow. Yeah,
Yeah. We do first Friday of the month is what we call mental health half day Fridays. First Friday of the
yeah.
month at my organization. And so it's today. And so folks log off at 1 o'clock. And man, I am ready to do that.
Bro. It's been quite a week, man. So, um, let's jump right in. Let's start with something light. So real quick, bro. We got Temple the Temple University resident assistants. Right? Remember your RAs when you were living on campus,
Yeah,
bro?
yeah.
So the resident assistants have become the first, I think, at a public university in the nation to unionize, bro. So like, what is happening in these dorms to where folks feel like they need to union?
you,
What is
you
going on?
know, well, what I'll say to you is I don't know because I never stayed in a dorm. I went to college. I lived at home when I went to college. I went to a community college. St. John's didn't have dorms when I went there. And so I don't
Uh-huh.
actually know what's going on in the dorms, but we know what's going on in the
So I lived on campus like throughout my whole tenure of undergrad and throughout my first master's degree. And bro, those dorms be rocking and rolling. You hear me? Like it's kind of yeah. I hate the liking, bro. Did you watch Oz
Yeah, yeah, I
on
did.
HBO? Right. And
Yeah,
so and
yeah, I
so,
watched
and
it.
so I hate the liking the dorms to prison, but anything you could get in Oz when you watch Oz, like you can get anything in prison, you can get anything
Yeah.
in a dorm too. And like, but you're on the outside world, but like you get what I'm saying. Like you can get anything
Anything you want.
in a dorm. And so it's pretty wild on a college campus. But shout out to these young people for organizing themselves and getting to the bag, bro. Because like
I
you
ain't mad at
see,
nobody. Yeah.
no, I'm not mad at anybody for trying to get a better situation for themselves. And then also you see what like just the teaching that happens at universities. Like a lot of the teachers are GAs, man. Like a
Yeah.
lot of folks that are, yeah. And so you get some unsuspecting young whippersnapper that's working working towards their doctorate, and then all of a sudden you're putting all of the pressures that maybe a university professor should have on the
Yeah.
GAs or whatever. So I get it from the mindset of a student, right?
Yeah. And having
You
been a
about to have,
TA, and having
mhm.
been a TA a couple times, right? Those and GA, those roles they're hard, right? Like you can get yourself. I think it can be super easy, or you can have a professor who wants you to do a lot for them. And I've been in both situations, and it's not easy to try to get your work done, to try to get some of their work done. Um, and then with me, I was also working outside of school, and so it was not an easy gig to have.
Yeah, and there's a lot, man. There's a lot that's put on these college students, right? And I don't think we talk about it enough. It's like, yo, you can send a care package, you can do whatever you do, but at the end of the day, it's like, these young people still have to go and be successful in these classes, and
Hmm.
still have to forge a way for them to
Yep.
experience that level of success. Yeah, so it's
And most
tough.
of them are working. At least most of the students we work with, they're working. They're going to school. They have family obligations. It's three full-time jobs easily.
Yeah, I think it should be better. I don't want to say because I don't know what the data says, but it should be better for a second, third gen college student than it would be for a first gen college student.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, what you would hope, right, is that those students don't have to work as much, right? And I think it's the balance of, for me, it was the balance of trying to figure out the right balance of the number of hours I could work outside
Mhm.
of college so that I can get everything done, not just go to class, but also get all my work done. And it's hard for me because how it is. Sometimes you got midterms, sometimes you got papers to write, sometimes things are popping up in school, and so it's really hard to find that balance where you can make ends meet financially and be able to take care of your business at school.
Bro, and one of the things I think that should be neglected during that stage of 18 to 22 is you shouldn't have no girlfriend, bro. Like it's impossible to have the schedule that you just talked about, right?
Yeah.
And then have the demands on you and the rigor that's placed on being at an R1 university or like a highly prestigious, highly selective university, and then have to juggle somebody else's emotions and like all this other stuff. I don't feel like it's humanly possible for you to be able to do that.
Well, like I tell you right now, that was not my problem. That was one thing I didn't have to juggle.
That was my problem, and
Yeah.
I was so hindsight is 2020. I'd have been single all through college, but that's just me.
It wasn't for lack of trying on my part.
Hey, you know what they say about the shots, baby. If you don't take the shot, there's no way you can make the shot. Right? If you don't take the shot, no way you can make the shot. Yeah. I mean, I appreciate your honesty. Hey, so next up, before we start talking about the elections and the results one, we gotta talk about this, man. Bro. What, bro?
You try to get me canceled.
Yeah, you can wait. You can wave the white flag. I'm good with it. I'm good. Wave the white flag.
You do it for me.
Yeah. So, but all right. So we won't stay here for long. But what I do want to say is, there's a Drake verse that kind of captures this like perfectly. Mm-hmm. He's like, I know those type of hugs. Bro,
I am going to assume that it was an innocent hug because that is the person I am, right? Yeah. But I'm gonna tell you right now, I best never, even after that, see my wife hug some dude that way because we're gonna have a discussion.
Bro, we're gonna have to have a discussion or something, right? Like
we're gonna have a discussion.
This is why I don't go to people's homecomings. This is why. Leave me out of it. Leave me out of it. I'm gonna go to your homecoming. Go ahead, yo.
I'm gonna stay here. You do what you gotta do.
I got the kids.
I'm just saying, I will haunt you. I will come home and haunt you.
So we have these elections, man. Like, what were your initial takeaways on put a spotlight on you because you're in New York City. What was the energy like?
I mean, the energy was crazy, right? Because I think there was this real palpable energy coming from the Mamdani campaign that I think was exciting a lot of young people in the city in ways that felt a little bit like 2008 with Obama, right? This young energy that you could feel in the city. And at the same time, there were two really sort of veteran public figures. One, Cuomo coming from a family dynasty, and Sliwa being, Sliwa is New York City, right? That guy has been a part of New York City since I was, alive, and I can remember him walking around with those berets forever. And so it was crazy to see both of them sort of really push a narrative around Mamdani and the Mamdani campaign, particularly towards the end. I think it got really scorched earth, right? Like they started playing, terrorist card, 9/11 card. It got pretty crazy towards the end of it here. And the kid had energy and he was able to push through. And what I'll say to you is, I don't know that he's going to be able to do half of what he said he wants to do.
Not even half. You're being generous. You're being generous with that half.
But I'm looking for energy and ideas right now, right? Like for me, I want energy and ideas, and I'll take that over, complacency any day.
Yeah. So I hate his education plan. It's nothing. It's like bare bones. Like we're just gonna do the same shit that has failed for decades, right? And so I hate that part. But I do. There's some things that how we show up as in politics, whatever, that it is never going to really align with us and like our thinking, right?
That's right.
Like,
yeah.
And so in saying that,
From either side, right? From either side, there's no party, no politician is going to be able to fit the way we show up. Yeah.
Right. I do like the idea of doing more for the marginalized, right?
Yeah.
I do like the idea of taxing the rich. Like we about to have a whole ass trillionaire now. There is no rhyme or reason for there to be any adult, one standing person that has $1 trillion. Like that type of wealth.
Yeah.
Like it's just totally unnecessary. And so tax the rich.
No, I mean, I think, what's wild is how many people who aren't even close, whose income isn't even close to being threatened with a tax increase, are fighting against the tax increase. Like that's wild to me, right? Like, you good? Trust me. You may not be good.
You're so good.
You're good right now.
No, that will never touch you. Like that amount of stress will never ever touch you ever. So you're okay. But to your point of just the Islamophobia and like all of the things that
was crazy
in terms of the end, like I'm so glad that this election cycle is over, because the way that these commercials were just draining the energy out of and I'm just like, damn, is it really that bad? Like, for example, in New Jersey, you got two really bad candidates. Like we can acknowledge it now because the election is over, but those were two really bad candidates. And, I know in sports they say the third time's the charm, but like it don't usually work that way in politics. Like
Sliwa was like the fifth time's the charm. No, I think that's right. And the other thing that has amazed me is just how, because there was so much attention nationally on this New York City race, the number of people who in my feed and on the internet who are like, one, have an opinion about who my mayor is, right? Like,
thanks. Does not matter. Just if you're outside of New York City, if you are outside of New York City right now, please know, don't give a shit about what you think. And now how many of them are like, you wait, you watch. Again, they don't live here. Everyone's going to be moving, right? Like, everyone's moving to Florida and Texas. I'm like, no, we're not. Nobody's moving to Florida or Texas. Like
maybe a few people. But I was telling my wife, I was like, maybe this is the mass exodus, and enough people can move out of city, or my rent can start stabilizing. Yeah, so I can move forward and live here.
You think I'm, bro? You listen. I want to. I haven't been on Twitter in forever, but maybe I need to get back on so that I can encourage people. To
go.
Go to Florida. Go to Arkansas. Go to Arkansas.
In Spanish, we'll say, no te vayas, lárgate. Don't go, get the hell out of here. Just go.
Bro, if I could snatch me a condo at like those COVID prices, when everybody was like,
I want some pre-COVID prices. Let's go.
Going to everywhere else and whatnot, man, that would be real good for my bottom line.
Yeah, and then so our mayor-elect is in Puerto Rico, and he's on my island, and he gave a speech yesterday, and just like a little thing, and he is so about his sort of affordability and cost of living thing, and sort of the like he went down there saying, using the slogan that we've been saying in Puerto Rico forever, which is no se vende, Puerto Rico's not for sale. And he was like, he's like, Puerto Rico no se vende, and guess what? New York City no se vende. We're not for sale. Yeah. And I'm like, let's go.
I love that. Love that energy. Bro. And then you got the guy that's in charge. He's all pissed off or whatever. I haven't seen him this angry in a while, and like so he's making the threat for the nuclear option again, right? And so his idea behind this the nuclear option is that, hey, we got to go nuclear, because if not, I know that we can't win the midterms. We're not going to win. He said it. He's blatantly said, like, we're not going to win the midterms. And then the next 2 years are going to be really bad.
No,
And
they're
then I saw
saying it
the
a lot.
video.
And you said Bannon the other day, because Bannon said it a lot too.
Yeah,
Like,
I was just about to say that. Yeah.
If we don't win, some of us are going to jail. And I'm like,
most of you. Most of you. I wanted to clarify that thinking from Mr. Bannon. Most of you are going to prison, not jail. Y'all going to prison. Y'all gonna be in Fort Dix with Diddy. Yo. Oh wow. That sounded terrible.
That is not terrible.
There's a Fort Dix, New Jersey. Just that sounded crazy. I gotta put it for myself. That sounded terrible.
He said with Diddy. Nah, you know, and the other person I think who's in a moment right now, right, is our current mayor. And he, right before the election, posted, he was like, listen, New York, I've given you a great city. Don't fuck it up. And I'm just like, dude, have you been paying attention for about 4 years?
Bro, anytime you have a mayor or a president or governor or anybody that's in an elected position that leaves office with an approval rating that is in single digits, you have terrorized wherever you've been. So wherever you've been, you have done the bare minimum in terms of people's appreciation for you. Even de Blasio left out of there with in the teens at least.
In the teens at least. But listen, he knows where all the hot spots are. I want to party with him. I just don't want him to be my man.
Bro, I want him, like, he would be, I mean, he's already a club promoter, but
yeah.
I could see him taking that show on the road, bro. Like, if he like a Eric Adams Yelp portion of Yelp, like, he had his own like station on Yelp, and like he went to like the different cities, and he was like, all right, it's gonna be popping here tonight. I'm gonna be here. I'm on the mic, bro. There's
like the Michelin for the restaurants, he can have his own ranking,
bro. And then he can have we're gonna give him a staff person, right? He'll have a staff person that can like write up a summary of like what happened or whatever, and like open it up for the ratings and what people thought, like a whole column. Like, bro, Eric Adams, if you listening, we just gave you a whole business for yourself, bro.
Whole business plan. Listen, he been to Turkey enough. He can probably write lots of reviews.
Yo, hey, he can get that thing moving. He can pop that thing off. So we had the governor's race in Virginia.
In Virginia, yeah.
That was interesting.
It was interesting.
One candidate that was both of them are former government employees.
Government official, yeah.
You got the one that's CIA, and then you got the one that's former military.
Mm-hmm.
But the one that's former military, there's some things that be happening in communities, right? So like we were told, like, hey, you guys are anti-black because you're not voting for a Republican candidate who is trumpeting Trump, right? And so I grapple with that, because it's like, all right, just because you are skin folk, that doesn't necessarily mean that you're kinfolk. And us wanting to invite everybody to the damn. Everybody can't come to the picnic, man.
Listen, that is something that is wild, right? Because I feel like the Black community is grappling with that now. But us in the Latino community, we've been grappling with that for a long time.
Yeah? So,
yeah.
Everybody can't come. Everybody can't get an invite. No. As a matter of fact, we need to be so like selective in terms of the people that
yeah, no, you gotta be really selective. You know what was wild? I think what was most wild to me about Tuesday was just how many different styles of Democratic policy like were around, right? Like, because what you saw in New York City was wildly different from what you saw in Virginia, which is wildly different than what you saw in New Jersey, right? They were wildly different messages, some more centrist, some more, deeper into the progressive movement. But, what you saw was just how diverse the
Bigger
Democratic
than 10.
Party
Big
is.
10.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's a Big Ten. But what you saw on the other side was like parroting of
Man.
sort of the
Right.
MAGA party line over and over again. Like, they're talking in Virginia. The woman on the Republican candidate. Her name is escaping me right now, but she's talking about trans rights and things like that. And the other one's like, look, can we just talk about how like affordability in the economy? Like half the people in Northern Virginia are right now out of work because the government shut down. Like, let's talk about what's going on right here. And I think it's wild to have such a big tent when you think about what the Democratic Party has been doing.
Well, not only that, I just under that Big Tent, we see Pelosi that's leaving. She's put in her paperwork, right?
Yeah.
So which excites me because I feel like there's a lot of things that could have happened like prior to, like she should have stepped away probably 4 years ago. In my opinion.
We have a minimum age for Congress.
Yeah.
I think we need and the presidency. I think we need a maximum age for Congress and the presidency. It is not to say that there aren't really like Bernie could lead lots of things right now. He's with it, right? But I think the likelihood, just like there are some younger people who could probably be president younger than 35, right? But the reality is the likelihood that those individuals have the stamina, the energy, the mental acuity to be proficient in those tails is less. And so I think we absolutely need an age limit as on the top end as well as on the bottom end.
Yeah. Wouldn't disagree. But I think coming back to my point about the Democrats is that I don't know how you get a central message that will align to where people are going to come out and want to vote the way that they came out in record numbers to want to vote in New York City. And so it's kind of like you have to have a socialist platform. You have to have, and I've been saying this, it's like, everything is good right now. Everything is so far right to where like, if you don't have something that's far left to come in to like balance things or whatever, it has to be a far left kind of candidate in order to balance things. It can't be a centrist candidate. It can't be someone that's like, oh, I want to work with the other side. It can't be that because if they win again, it's never going to be that. They're never coming to. They're showing you right now that like we don't want to be bipartisan. We want to run things through. We want to do things the way that we want them to do it because this is what Trump is telling me to do, and this is what I'm going to do because he's telling me to do it. There is no bipartisanship. So I need Schumer gone. I need Schumer up out of here. I need Hakeem up out of here. Right? Like,
he was supposed to be a rising star, right? Like when he took over, that was supposed to be his thing.
He fell flat. I need Jim Clyburn up out of here. Respect to him though, because I feel like a lot of credit to him.
This isn't about the careers that they've had. It's about what's needed now, right? Like, I think of it like in sports teams, right? There was a point where Ewing just shouldn't have been on the court, right?
Absolutely.
Right, and that's not a disrespect to what he did in the past because he may be one of the greatest, if not the greatest, Knick to ever, put the jersey on. And there was a point where but I'm saying he arguably, right? But there's a point where me too. But my point is like there's a point where he needed to take a seat, right? And it's just there comes a time for everybody, and hopefully when it's time to go, right? Hopefully you go too soon rather than too late. That's always thinking about like Barry Sanders, right? He went early. Everybody was like, oh, he left too early. I was like, yeah, but he left on top. He left his way.
He left with all his mental faculties. Yeah, bro, because CTE is real. And we don't talk about it enough, but CTE is real.
But it's hard to know when to hang him up, right? It's hard to know if you're Nancy Pelosi, if you're Chuck Schumer, if you're, when to say, all right, I've given what I could. I left it all in the field, and now it's somebody else's turn to take over. That is not an easy thing for people to do in any sector, whether it be sports or politics, or it's hard to know when to hang it up.
Bro, I got what you sent me about charter schools and that whole thing and whatnot, and best believe it's got me fired up. But I'm waiting until Graham gets back in order to cue it up. You best believe I'm tight about it, bro. I left a comment. On the IG post. I'm like, come on, you gotta be kidding me. But yeah, we will circle back. But Let me ask you this: when you hear dog whistling coming from our president, like
Yeah.
what is it? What does it mean? I'm gonna play this for you.
They have Jasmine Crockett, a low IQ person. They have AOC's low IQ. You give her an IQ test, have her pass like the exams that I decided to take when I was at Walter Reed. Those are very hard. They're really aptitude tests, I guess, in a certain way, but they're cognitive tests. Let AOC go against Trump. Let Jasmine go against Trump.
What is his IQ? Because he is.
Bro, so when you hear him dog whistling like that, bro, that like because I've never heard him say, and you can correct me if I'm wrong. I have never heard that man say that a non-melanated person was low IQ.
Yeah,
I've never heard him say it.
No.
And so there it is. You have two women of color. You have a black woman, and then you have a Latino woman that he's calling low IQ, and it just doesn't sit right with me.
It doesn't sit right with me, but also for me, like it also doesn't like I think it's clear what's happening, right? And I think it may not be clear to the 30 to 40% of Americans who will follow him off of a bridge, right? But that is, to me, it is clear. You can say a lot of things about Jasmine Crockett. You can say a lot of things about AOC. Them not being intelligent, them not having their, it's not one of them. You can disagree with their politics. You can call them social. You call it whatever you want. But they have demonstrated through their actions that they come with a powerhouse brain. And like, it's funny to me. Like I hear it is a dog whistle and it upsets me. And at the same time, it feels like, when you was growing up, there was that kid, everyone like they picked on so much that he didn't just start saying anything because he was like lashing out at everybody. Like that's what I feel like is going on right now. He's in pure defense mode.
We're talking about a 70-something-year-old man.
Oh, of course. Maybe. Maybe.
What we're gonna do? Because I feel like this election was a memorandum on the Republican Party, and so it's basically like a foreshadow of what can occur if things don't change. Like this midterm is going to be brutal because you got California that passed their proposition, which balances what was going to happen in Texas, and so shout out to Cali for doing what they needed to do in order to make sure that democracy is staying intact. What do you see, man? What are your thoughts?
No, I mean, I wish the electorate had a longer memory. But it's hard for me to think about.
That's on us, though. That's on us to make them remember.
That's on us. Yeah, that's on us. But my point is, I feel like what we get at most elections is how people are feeling walking in that moment. And so if you're walking in that moment, if you're feeling insecure, if you're not feeling strong, if you're feeling uncomfortable, what you're going to get is a desire to change the status quo. Right. But if you are feeling good, if you're feeling comfortable, it's not to me, I hesitate to call this a sort of anything other than a reaction to the current state. Right. We've got a government shutdown. We've got, SNAP benefits at risk. We've got, food prices have not come down regardless of what they'll tell you. And so I think that insecurity is coming through. But should we see significant economic change between now and next November, the referendum is gone because people's memories are short, I think, when it comes to these things.
Yeah. No, I don't think so.
I hate to be depressive.
So you know how people remember when he wrote his name on the stimulus check or whatever during COVID, and it said he's Donald J. Trump or whatever, right? And that was like something that Biden regretted not doing, because he's not a narcissist, but people remember that, right? And so then they took that with them and so it was like, oh, Trump saved me, or he gave the stimulus check, or he did this. Not Congress, but it was Trump, right? And so I think people are going to remember being in a food crisis, having an inability to buy food this close to Thanksgiving, right? Like I correlate those two. And so it's like, it's, if you have a rough Thanksgiving, it's going to be very difficult in order for you to move past that and not remember that.
Yeah, I mean, but my point is that it's 12 months, right? and we have a rough Thanksgiving, but we end up having, food prices come down. Like, my point is, there are so many things. I believe that this president and his candidacy has never operated by the historical, what is true about the way people interact with politics, right? And so I think generally you're right, but like, in January it was going to be like, in February we're all going to get $5,000 checks because Doge is making so many cuts. I still am waiting on my $5,000 check. I haven't gotten my Doge check yet, right? Like
that 5,000 you were supposed to get went to the trillion that he about to get.
but this is my point, right? My point is like so many things that have happened or not happened have been forgotten. Like, day one, we're not going to have a war in Ukraine. That'll be settled.
Yeah.
Right. Day one, the conflict in the Middle East will be settled.
Yeah.
These, like, so many things have been.
There's a lot of day ones, bro.
I know there was a lot of day one talk.
A lot of day ones from day one.
And I don't know that anybody remembers enough that it mattered in the way they voted.
I disagree with you. I think they do remember, and I think well, you know who did.
I hope
you know
so.
Who didn't remember?
I want to be wrong.
Let me tell you who didn't remember. And you're right. You're right about this part. Is that Latinos in New Jersey? They ain't remember shit because like every day ICE is out here like rampantly like going after fellow Latinos or whatever, and then for them to vote the way that they voted in New Jersey and the way that they've been voting in terms of like regular support for the Republican Party, knowing that they are the culprits behind doing this, y'all got a lot of soul searching to do.
Listen, I've told you a bunch of times, and I continue to say it. There is no Latino community, right?
Okay. All right, fair enough.
That is a phrase, the Hispanic, Latino, whatever you use, that was given to us as a community by the Census Bureau, by the federal government. I don't believe there's a cohesiveness that is the Latino community. I think what we have is a bunch of folks from different national backgrounds, some of whom have some more similarities than others. I don't know that you have that type of community that you would think it is, but I think folks outside the community put us together more than folks inside the community feel it.
Yeah, bro, that's powerful. We got to unpack that. Yeah. But anyway, we don't have time to unpack it today, folks. We'll see you next week. We went over and peace.
Peace.